Christine, and I am a friend of Katie's, and I work for Katie on occasion as well.
I am Sarah, and I'm a friend of Katie's, and I work for Katie.
I'm Johnny. I'm with Katie all the time.
Dan Jansen, and I know a lot about Katie through her friends and support, but this is my first time meeting her face to face.
When you start, you just have the first 4 questions posted. The first question is, what do we know about what's important to Katie? Things that are important to Katie are things that she enjoys, things that make her happy, things that make her fulfilled, satisfied, content. Then we want to ask, what do people like and admire about Katie? And this is where you have to make sure you've invited the right people, because you need people who can answer these questions. And this will tell you whether you invited the right people, because if they can't come up with a pretty big list of what they like and admire about Katie, you got the wrong people in the room. Then we want to know, how is Katie smart? What is she good at? Katie's probably smart in a whole bunch of ways, and we're going to ask you to describe them. The last one, those people who filled out what they like and admire, this is the hardest question. When you think about how Katie's contributed to your life, how has Katie made a difference in your life, what can you say? Once you've reviewed the questions, and once you make sure that anybody who has any questions has an opportunity to answer them, it's simply a matter of making sure that everybody has a marker and they get up and write. Flip chart page says, what do we know about what is important to Katie? What does Katie enjoy doing? And people wrote family, independence, cooking, doing things for herself, helping others, independence, having people around her that support her, teaching others, crafts, holidays, handbags, contributing to others in her family and community, doing things for herself, makeup, and staying organized. And what they said here is that you're nice to other people, you're open-hearted, you're loving, you never give up, you have a say yes attitude, which goes with your can-do attitude, and you're motivated. You're also determined to get it done. You are known for your hospitality and your willingness to help others. You have a positive outlook and a sharp sense of humor. And you've developed a really big circle. There's a lot of people who know you, and a lot of people that you can ask who can count on you. Then, how are you smart? What are you good at? Making other people laugh and smile. Remembering where everything is. Encouraging people, being a good hostess, great memory of family history and good times, cooking. And I asked you about cooking. You said you cook most anything. And you're a good friend. You're very organized, have an incredible memory, and you know who to call to get things done. Then the last one over here is, what have those people who like and admire you learned from you? How have you contributed to their lives? How have you made a difference in their lives? And part of what people wrote, the lessons that they've gotten, is they learn to be more open and appreciate the little things. You apparently are very forgiving, because people have learned forgiveness from you and not holding a grudge. But they've also learned, if there's a will, there's a way, because you are such a determined person. And people who are shy are saying, we've helped them come out of their shell. And you've helped people get organized. And you're inspiring, and you have lots of community friends, and people have learned how you can have lots of friends and connections. Is that also? Yeah. Okay. So what we've done here is to get people's brains ready to do this part, because what you want to do here is get people to brainstorm answers to this question. Given what we've learned, given what's been recorded, where might Katie's gifts and contributions be appreciated? What we're concerned about here is to get people past the typical limitations of how they think, and to really reflect on all of these things that everybody wrote with no problem, and say, how would these give us suggestions about where Katie's gifts and contributions might be appreciated? So I think we have enough for the moment. Anytime anybody thinks of one, we can always add it. This is where you start to really come in, because I'm going to take a blue marker, Katie, and I'm going to go through each one of these, and if you think it's a good idea, we're going to give it a blue check. Then we're going to go back through all the blue checks, and if you think it's a great idea, we're going to give it a red check on top of the blue check. And train the trainer.
Yeah.
So, we now have an embarrassment of riches. We have so many ideas that you think are good ideas that we have to kind of figure out how we're going to narrow it down. So we're going to be looking at how good an opportunity is it for to use your gifts and contributions. How doable is it? And how easy do you think it would be? You ready?
Yeah.
If we were to just look at 5 of these, what 5 would you pick? The cerebral palsy CP advocate and educator?
Yeah. I think we're good.
As you can see, with somebody who gets this as well as Katie, this is actually pretty easy. With other people, you really have to take some time, and there's some people I've done this with who don't communicate directly, where you have to really have kind of the group with the person. So you're looking at somebody's face, you're trying to figure it out, you get an input from other people. You know, with Katie, it's just a pleasure, because Katie knows her own mind. So even though I put up some brilliant ideas, Katie didn't agree with them. But that's the way we want it to work. We want people to come up with their best ideas, and we want the person to tell us which ones we should pursue. We're going to be putting up a checklist for the rest of these questions, and we're going to ask people to score it 1 to 5. Lots of people, I think Katie, I think you probably would have no trouble giving these a ranking of 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, depending on how much you liked them. But most of the people that we do this with have trouble with that kind of number score, but nobody has trouble with the blue check, red check. So we have an idea of which ideas that Katie thinks we should focus on, and they are selling gift baskets, being an advocate educator for people with cerebral palsy, being a urology nurse, a diabetes consultant, educator. Now we're going to ask questions, and everybody in the room is going to talk about them, and we're going to come to some consensus. So we're going to talk a little bit about what each job means, and in the process of talking about the job, we might come up with something else. So you never want to stop thinking. So how good an opportunity do the rest of us, including Katie, think that that would be for Katie to be able to use her gifts? A really great opportunity? So it's a 5. 5 would be great. Yeah. And how easy would it be to do to get it started?
Well, you already have the supplies.
It's a 5 there, and would Katie's baskets be welcome, do you think?
Absolutely.
So that's a 5. So if you look for the stuff right now that we should be looking at planning for,
It's a gift basket for
these are the ones, because you're looking for where there are 5s all the way across or 4s and 5s all the way across. If there aren't 4s and 5s, then if it's something you really want to do, then we need to still dig into it, still look for it, look at how we can do it as a long-range goal. But this is the stuff you work on right away. So Katie, each session, each time you do this, you want to end with some action planning. Otherwise, the danger is you're going to go this far and everybody's going to go, oh, wasn't that wonderful? And then 6 months from now, people are going to go, how come Katie doesn't have a job? So you really want to end with who's going to do what to take the next steps. And you may not have the people in the room necessary to really get a rich action plan, but you can get something started. What do the rest of you think about what would need to happen in order for gift baskets to be sold?
I think you'd need to write a business plan.
Yeah.
So we're going to have Justine is responsible, and by when? So who would be responsible for getting together with a marketing plan?
What about your circle, Katie? That's what I would think, is that would be a team effort amongst Katie's
Mm-hmm.
circle.
So what we're going to do then, Katie, is we're going to get, all of this is going to get typed up. And we'll make sure that it gets to you. And is it okay to share it with your circle?
Yeah.
And then the material that we generated earlier, this over here, can then become part of your resume.
Yeah.
We can keep all these ideas so that we can go back to them at some point and see if as you try different things, if they change. I would like to end by asking each person to say one thing they appreciated about our time together, or one thing that they learned from today.
I definitely did not know all the awesome things that these people thought about me.
One thing that this shows me that is that you can just have a small group of people together if they really know and care about the person, and they can come up with an amazing list.